It's summer and it's a doozy. And if this heat is absolutely wrecking you, you are not imagining it and you are not the only one feeling it. Today, we're going to talk about exactly what to do to help yourself with the heat from a Chinese medicine perspective. We're going to talk about what to eat, what to drink, my favorites, what to skip, 3 heat clearing acupressure points that you can try, and how to make my favorite summer watermelon cooling slushy. It also makes great margaritas. So these are literally the things that I'm doing right now in the midst of historic highs in the south of France. I'm Jenny, and I'm a doctor and professor of Chinese medicine and an online wellness coach and teacher living in Provence, France, where we have just had this historic canicule heat wave, and there's another one coming next week, and it really didn't actually cool off that much in between, which seems to be going around a lot these days, which is why I wanted to make this one. These heat waves are getting more and more frequent and intense, which means that having a few real tips for managing them isn't just nice to have, it's becoming a necessary skill. In Chinese medicine, the climate isn't just weather. It's one of the primary factors that shapes our health. So the whole system is built around the idea that we are not separate from our environment. We are part of it. So when the seasons shift or when the weather gets really extreme like it has been this summer, your body has to adapt. And how well it does that is a direct reflection of your health. So living with the seasons is not just a nice philosophical idea. In this system, it is practical medicine, practical natural medicine. So managing the extremes, whether it's heat, damp, cold, or even wind, is a really big and important part of staying well. So quick disclaimer, I am a doctor of Chinese medicine, not a Western medical doctor, and everything I share here is for educational purposes only. And a real safety note, heat-related illness can be really serious really quickly and even deadly. And this is especially true for very young children or the very elderly or anyone with fragile health, like managing chronic health conditions. So if you or someone around you is showing signs of heat exhaustion or heat stroke, don't wait it out. Get medical help right away. One quick thing that it's worth to know before we get into all the tools to use, this kind of heat is hard on everyone. But not everybody struggles for the same reason, according to Chinese medicine. Some of you run really hot to begin with. You have naturally got too much heat in your body. So this just turns up the volume when it's like this. Some of you don't naturally run hot, but when the heat comes like this, it just flattens you. You're foggy, you're boggy, you're heavy feeling, no appetite, no energy. And this is what happens when we have too much dampness in our bodies. And if you are in perimenopause or menopause like me, your body's cooling capacity has decreased. So heat that used to not be such a big deal to you is probably bothering you more than it used to. But we'll get into all those patterns in a different video in the future so that we can get into it in more detail. For today, here's what actually can help you when it's really hot outside, no matter which type you are. So first, the baseline. Drink more water than feels necessary. I know it's so boring, but it's so important. And truly, most of us, including me, really underestimate how much water we lose in a heat wave just due to sweat and evaporation. And staying hydrated is the foundation that everything else sits on for health in a heat wave. So here is what to eat and to drink when it's really hot outside. First thing, watermelon, the most cooling food that there is. And it replaces fluid really quickly. It's sort of like a natural electrolyte. It's also very strong medicine in Chinese medicine. We use it as a medicinal in lots of things. Also very cooling are all other kinds of melon and cucumbers, which are hydrating and easy to digest and good to just eat all the time when it's hot out or put in your water. Strawberries, cooling, hydrating with a sweet and sour quality that really helps also to generate more body fluids. Are you seeing a theme here? That way you're not just sweating, you're replenishing. Raspberries, also mildly cooling, helps your body hold on to moisture in what we call being astringent from a Chinese medicine perspective. Lemon and lime, the sour flavor specifically helps your body to generate and hold on to the fluid, which is why it's so satisfying when you have it in something cold on a hot day. But it also is great when you're feeling really cranky. And if you're anything like me, when it gets this hot, you feel a little cranky. Now let's talk about a few cooling herbs. So cilantro, cooling and light, so great. Put it in some guacamole or make some pico de gallo, nothing too spicy, but anything that you can put cilantro in will help to cool things down. And then, of course, fresh mint. There's a little fresh mint right now. Very cooling, and it really eases the kind of heat that shows up as irritability or even a tension headache by calming the liver. And it just feels cool and nice. So mint and hibiscus iced tea are one of my favorite things to make in the summer. You can also make green tea, which is very cooling in nature, even if you drink it hot. So it makes it a real exception to what I'm going to say about caffeine in a minute. A cup or two is fine. It makes a great iced tea as well, and just will help to keep you cool. Coconut water, or even plain water with electrolytes, which replenish fluid and your electrolytes much more effectively than just water alone. You are also going to want to avoid heavy, fried, and greasy food. These generate a lot more heat and dampness, which makes us feel much more sluggish and weighed down. And damp heat is really the worst combination in this hot weather. Sadly, this includes large quantities of dairy. And in fact, most of the classic American barbecue foods land in this category. Think like burgers, hot dogs, salads with all kinds of mayo, ice cream. Plus, these are all foods that are really prone to food spoiling in the heat, so probably best to avoid them altogether. And yes, I'm a little sad about having to avoid them too, but I don't like to feel bad. It is also important to avoid too much caffeine when it's this hot. It's too stimulating and it depletes our fluid reserves even more. And interestingly enough, this seems counterintuitive, but eating too much raw and cold food and drinks all day, ice drinks, salads, raw fruit all day, it sounds logical, but in a lot of people it can really actually slow your digestion down and cause a lot more dampness and sluggishness. So a little bit of light cooking where you can goes a lot further than you think. Again, think steamed, poached, just simple, light cooking. And you'll find that that really helps. And certainly you can have some of the raw stuff too, just not only raw stuff unless you have the stomach of steel. So just a quick pause. If this video is helpful to you, it is so helpful to me if you would like and subscribe so that other hot, sweaty people can find a way to help the heat too. So now let's learn to make my favorite slushie. It is so good, it is so cooling, and you can do a lot of things with it. So first you're just going to take a whole bunch of watermelon chunks, or if you're lazy like me, just scoop it right out with a spoon from the actual watermelon. And then I use frozen raspberries because I always can have them on hand, and frankly I eat the fresh raspberries too fast and our family just gobbles them up. Some fresh mint, and then fresh squeezed lime juice with a pinch of salt. You could add some coconut water or electrolyte powder to this if you want. If you really want to be fancy and cooling, frozen watermelon makes it more like a slushy icy. And you know, in Chinese medicine we don't love all the cold food, but I won't tell if you won't. And really, you just blend these all up together, pour it in a cup, and drink it. There is no set recipe. The quantity is kind of more of a whatever floats your boat. I like to have a lot of raspberries in mine, definitely use a lot of watermelon. I use extra lime juice, usually 2 limes in it instead of 1. I don't always do the salt, it just kind of depends on how much I need the electrolytes. But just remember, all of these things together are not just for taste, although it is really, really quite delicious. They help to generate fluids, they help to keep you from losing too many fluids, and they are full of electrolytes as well as so many awesome vitamins and minerals, of course. These actually also make amazing popsicles, really great for cranky little kids when the summer is really hot. Again, not exactly the TCM way of doing things, but again, I'm American, I'm used to the cold, and it definitely helps me. And my kids always love these. And also, if it's Friday and it's not quite this hot out, these make pretty incredible margaritas too. Mock or not, you can do it either way. Just go light on the alcohol. So the next thing I use at home a lot is this do-it-yourself electrolyte water. And yes, I use this ridiculous mug. 40 ounces, I drink probably 3 of these a day. Another great thing is do-it-yourself electrolyte water. I try to drink 3 of these 40-ounce cups a day when it's this hot outside, and 2 usually when it's not this hot outside. But it's super easy. Filtered water, sliced up lemon or lime, sliced strawberries, and some fresh mint with a small pinch of salt, just a little. That salt is really doing real work here. It helps your body to actually hold on to some of the fluids that you're drinking instead of just passing through you. Just remember, just a tiny pinch. Too much salt will actually tip the other way and make you retain too much water and dampness and add to the heat. Now let's talk about some easy acupressure points that you can press to help clear heat from your body. The first one is really one of the most potent points for clearing heat. It's called large intestine 11 Chu Chi, and you can find it right in your elbow crease. Let's see if I get a good angle here. So just follow the crease to right here, and that's it. And just give it some good pressure for 30 to 60 seconds, several times a day. And it'll really help to keep your heat down in your body. A couple of bonus points, if one of these sounds like you, we have Heart 8 or Xiao Fu. Heart 8, Xiao Fu. This is really like when you feel like you have a racing heart, palpitations, racing mind, trouble getting into sleep, irritability, even like headaches from the heat. So you just close your hand a little bit, and where your pinky hits in there, it's in between the webbing of your 4th and 5th finger. Just press in there. It's usually pretty tender on people. So this is a great point to press if you're just feeling anxious with the heat or if you have a big headache. And another point, which I guess I am going to stick my foot up. I didn't plan this very well, you guys. Anyway, I'll just show you on my hand. I don't think I'm that flexible. But liver 2, it's between your first and second toe. So between your big toe and your second toe. And it's just right in the webbing of that, between your first and second toe. And it's really good for clearing heat from the liver, which is the kind of heat that makes you real cranky, snappy, irritable, kind of want to punch people. So remember, that one's on your foot, not your hand. I just decided not to stick my foot up on the table today. You never know. I'm not going to do it today. And just remember, these points are not competing. You can use them all together. They're just covering different ground. So just pick one thing, maybe the slushie or an iced tea with hibiscus and mint, or the electrolyte water, or both. Try it and notice what shifts. And if you are curious about which pattern actually fits you the most, the person who runs too hot, the flattened by the damp and heat type, or the perimenopause version, that is exactly the kind of thing that I work with people through one-on-one coaching. Links below if you want help with your specific picture and not just the general version. And later on, I'll have some more videos to go into it as we come to them. So tell me below, which thing are you trying? Which thing sounds best? I gotta say, I vote for this one first because it is so good. Let me know. Let me know if you tried the popsicles or the margaritas. If you find this helpful, please hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series coming up in the next few months. Next up, we'll cover damp weather, which is heat's troublesome cousin. They really do not play nice together. I'll wait for the next humid day. We can see how frizzy and crazy my hair gets. I'm Dr. Jennie. Life is for living, my friends. A bientôt.